Hi everyone, today I want to talk about some mistakes that parents typically make when it comes to their life insurance. My name is Eric Screwala, and life insurance is a very important tool that's available to us as parents to make sure that our children have financial resources available to them if something were to happen to us. Now, the big question that comes into play is how do we make sure that that money is available to our children to make sure that that they have a childhood that we want to give them, that they're brought up in the way we would want to. And I do find that a number of parents make some really fundamental mistakes that I want to talk about today. Now, for most people, your spouse is going to be the primary beneficiary of that life insurance policy. If I died tomorrow, I'd want to make sure that my wife has enough money available to her so that she can continue to raise our children in the way we had always intended to, without placing an additional burden on her. But what happens if both of us aren't available? Then how do we make sure that the money is available for the kids? Now, for some people, the easy answer is, all right, we'll just leave the money to the kids. But that's a big problem because when the children are under the age of 18, which is when they need those life insurance proceeds the most, they're not able to actually have that money given to them in their name. And what that means is that a court is going to step in and appoint somebody that's going to be paid out of the proceeds of that life insurance to manage that money for them until they turn 18. And that's not really a desirable result because the person that's appointed has absolutely no idea about your kids or about your wants and needs and desires. And frankly, they're not going to care. So that is not a good approach to take. Now, another approach that some people take is to leave the life insurance to those people they've designated to be the guardians for their kids. And it's a perfectly logical thing to think to do, because if Uncle Joe is going to take care of the kids, then why not leave that life insurance money to Uncle Joe? But there are a couple of problems with this that I want to talk about. Now, number one is that Uncle Joe is under absolutely no duty to apply that money to take care of the kids. It's not the kids' money. It's Joe's money, and he can do with it whatever he wants. And I know we want to trust people and believe that they would do exactly what they had agreed to do. But what happens if that doesn't occur? Second of all, if Joe happened to pass away, then that money that was left to Joe would not automatically go to your kids. It would go to whomever Uncle Joe had designated his property to go to, either in a will or through state law. And that can be a very, very terrible result. And third is, how do we make sure that the money that Uncle Joe has left over, assuming there is money left over, would ultimately get to the kids? So it's not a really great option to leave the money to the person you've designated to be the guardians for those reasons. Now, the best approach is to leave the money to the kids through a vehicle called a trust. Now, this is a trust you can set up through a will. This is a trust you can set up in another trust. But it essentially does is it creates a vehicle to hold that money for the kids' benefit, and it appoints somebody, and it could be the guardian, it could be somebody else, to manage that money for the kids. And then when the kids reach a certain age, an age that you designate, then the kids would ultimately receive that money for themselves. Now, this is the best way to make sure that the life insurance proceeds that you have contracted for are going to go to them when they need it the most. And you won't even have to worry about when that money is needed because the trust will determine when that's going to be applied for their benefit by a trustee and when they're going to be old enough to have that money to use on their own for their own purposes. So if you have any questions about this or want to review some decisions you've made with regard to decisions on life insurance, just drop us a line. We'd be more than happy to help you out. Until next time, take care. Bye.